everyone. I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. A diagnosis of childhood cancer brings fear and uncertainty to any family, and that is why an innovative program offers healing without a prescription. Mike Bush takes us to a hospital in St. Louis that is giving young cancer patients a much-needed music treatment.
4, 2, 3, 4.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, between the charts and scans, medicine finds its rhythm in beats and melodies.
Now we need another instrument.
Something unexpected is happening in 11-year-old Genesis Sutton's treatment room.
Guitar. Whoa.
While doctors monitor her recovery, she and her siblings are becoming composers.
Just drag what you like into the square.
Music therapist Allison Cole carries no prescription pad, just an iPad, and the conviction that sometimes healing travels through headphones better than IV lines.
It can help to, keep their mind off of their pain until their meds take effect.
This creative outlet, making music and doing things that are fun and engaging, just kind of helps with their overall spirit.
1, 2, clap with me.
For Jamie Hayes, Jen's mom, these sessions provide a rather rare respite from a difficult journey. It began during the holidays in 2020. Pain in a place where growing children often hurt. But something about this was different.
Like it was just my leg.
So it hurt, and so you knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
What started as a whisper of discomfort became a diagnosis no parent is ever prepared to hear.
They took me in a room across the hallway and was like, your daughter has cancer. It's just something you never think you would hear. So it took me a while to process it.
The exact diagnosis? Acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
All the families.
When medicine choreographs every step of a young life, Kids Rock Cancer offers children a chance to pick up the conductor's baton. For 16 years, this Maryville University program has transformed treatment rooms into recording studios.
I love you. Ooh.
I love you.
Try it again.
Where the only side effects are smiles and moments of creative freedom.
It's a chance for them to have autonomy. They make all the choices. Oh, yeah.
Back at the hospital, Genesis and her siblings composed a song that may not win a Grammy, but creates something far more valuable. A moment where cancer takes a back seat to creativity. In hospital corridors where childhood is often drowned out by beeping monitors, these musical moments create a soundtrack of joy that outlasts the treatment itself.
It's very impactful because it's just like a relief. Like you're not the only one trying to keep a smile, on everybody's face. Like I am very thankful for them.
Can I get a high five from everybody? High five.
Because long after the chemotherapy ends, the melodies remain. Personal anthems of courage, composed in the key of hope.
That was Mike Bush reporting. Now to a hockey game in Pennsylvania that isn't about winning, but the show of support for one special woman. Lauren Bradford takes us to the ice to meet Jeanette Miller.
Jeanette Miller is no stranger to an ice rink, always showing up and supporting her family.
Her whole life she's been doing for everybody else, and now it's time to do something for her.
6 months ago, Miller was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer, starting the fight of her life.
It's been rough. Since she's been diagnosed back October, November range, chemo really was rough on her. She was on a ventilator twice. She got COVID and we almost lost her.
Every time I had chemotherapy, I got terribly ill. I went to the hospital a couple times and was on life support twice.
Now just 3 radiation sessions away from ringing the bell, Jeanette's feeling good. But with the bills still coming in, the hockey community came together.
You don't have to be blood to be family, and I've known these guys for 40 plus years. And for them to take their time and to show up and play, along with me and everybody else, it means the world to me.
Playing for the Flyers for 11 years, I always did a lot of work for charities and like the hockey events. Like I run my own hockey event for cancer, and so just nice to give back and to help people that need the help.
I am very overwhelmed with everything, and the more people that come walking in and I see all this, it's just like, I can't believe they're all just coming out for me.
The event, a prime example of the support she's had throughout her treatment.
I think that's what pulled me through everything. My son was there all the time. He kept bringing my granddaughter out. My daughter-in-law came out, and just having them there, it kept my spirits up, and it did wonders for me. And I think that's why I'm here today.
While Jeanette's journey has had its ups and downs, she's ready to move forward and live life to the fullest.
Just being alive, taking care of my granddaughter. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just keep playing with her and being with her and loving her.
That was Lauren Bradford reporting. Now, a mother is praising a first grade teacher in Idaho. Thanks to Miss Courtney, her daughter has gained confidence. Maggie O'Mara shares how she turned her students' insecurity into a superpower.
Lorena Villagran loves being in first grade here at Park Ridge.
Lorena's doing great in school. She has an amazing teacher, Miss Courtney.
What's your favorite part about being here at Park Ridge?
That every year I make a grade, I get to make new friends.
Lorena was born premature. She weighed 3 pounds 11 ounces. So my daughter was born with a slight hearing loss in her left ear.
She wears a hearing aid. Lorena showed it to us. And it's pink. Did you get to pick the color? She says some kids at school have been curious about it.
Well, some people asked me what it was, and I told them about it.
A little bit of maybe bullying, kids not so sure what's going on with her or why she had to wear it.
Do you guys remember when we read these books?
Yeah.
Her teacher, Courtney Craner, noticed.
I pulled her aside one day and I said, do you think it would be helpful if we told the kids what it is and like maybe talk to the class about it? And she got really, really excited about that.
Miss Courtney, as the kids call her, did her research and she ordered some children's books about hearing aids.
And then we read those books together as a class. Princess Lizzie needs help to hear from 2 little devices in her ear. So remember, we talked about she has 2 hearing aids. How many does Lorena have? 1.
The kids learned so much, and they had a lot of good questions, too.
And they decided that it was Lorena's superpower. So she's now like the superhero of our classroom because she has a hearing aid.
It makes me happy so everybody wouldn't keep asking me how does it work, so I can stop telling them, but now everybody knows.
Now everyone knows. What do you want to say to Miss Courtney for doing this for you?
That she's an awesome teacher.
Lorena's parents were so touched.
It was a big deal to me because somebody took the time to make my daughter feel included for something that was maybe causing her a little insecurity. So that made me as a parent feel really overwhelmed with just joy and happiness, and maybe even emotional at the time. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she did this. And I just wanted to share it with everybody that she did such a great thing.
She sent a message to the principal, and the next thing she knew, it was on the school's Facebook page.
So I just say, hey, I wanted to give a shout out to the teacher. She did this amazing thing for my daughter, and I just want her to have kudos.
Miss Courtney was surprised and so honored.
It was nice. We don't always hear the positive side from parents in the community, so it was nice to hear positive feedback from like something that you work hard for. So.
Doesn't it make you feel so valued?
Very valued, yeah. And we need that as teachers. We need a win every once in a while, so it was very much needed.
Now, Lorena proudly wears her hearing aid.
She used to take off her hearing aid and kind of like slyly hide it at her desk or her backpack, and I haven't seen her take it off since. So she's a lot more confident about it since we did this. She's the star of the show now.
And if you ask her, she'll tell you, like so many other kids, her teacher is her hero.
She's the awesomest teacher that I know, and she makes me very happy.
Courtney Craner.
I want everyone to know about this teacher. I want them to know how amazing she is.
Shout out to Miss Courtney. That was a great idea to order those books and educate the kids so they would know what was going on. That was Maggie O'Mara reporting on that story, rather. We have much more for you coming up on Featured. Here's a look at what's ahead. A shopping spree gone wrong. We'll tell you how a lollipop order left one mom in a sticky situation. Plus, Peanut Pals unite. We'll tell you why a group is coming together to show love to Mr. Peanut. Welcome back. All right, do you have a junk drawer? You know, the one that's filled with random items that you eventually forget about and never use? My fiance was teasing me about mine the other day. Well, some may call it garbage, but an artist in Connecticut would say otherwise. Jamel Johnson shows us how she is finding the beauty in trash.
This is a box of knives, and to someone like me, I would use them and throw them out. But to someone like Stephanie Lynn Daigle, it's the missing piece to her next sculpture.
This is where I sit when I am working.
Art.
Board here, my tools and stuff.
It's considered the ultimate form of creative expression
In every single piece that I make.
and has always been in Stephanie Daigle's DNA.
I cannot remember a time where I wasn't creating.
She became a sign artist at Trader Joe's, but she always wanted more from her art.
As you can see, there's a ton of copper piping.
That's when she noticed her creative outlet was in front of her all along.
The box of cords that you don't know what they go to, or like old purses that I hated and I was never going to use again, or like just chopping everything up and trying to, use it in some sort of way.
She used items that would have been thrown out
It would have been insane to say no to it. But
to create her first sculpture,
my very first piece was this deer that I had named Yondu. I painted it blue.
based off a character from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was going to name him Louie initially, and then I was watching the movie and I was like, I really like the name Yondu.
299 pieces later,
Technically, that's probably a lot harder.
her hobby is now her full-time job.
That's Yondu, that's Tao, this is Prudence, that's Kobe, the dog over there is Charlie, and that octopus is Misha.
One person's trash is Daigle's treasure.
Oh, it's a bunch of junk.
Her eco-friendly passion
I think a lot of people assume that I dumpster dive. I have never done that.
has resonated with an entire community.
Initially, it was all my own junk, and then it became the junk of my friends and family, my neighbors, that like everyone that knew I was doing it was like, oh, I saved you all of these things, like here you go. But I am so proud to say that I have probably saved a ton of trash from being put in a landfill. Or
A trash train she doesn't see stopping
you're like, this guy, that guy would go in there full.
anytime soon.
So I'm gonna do this forever. I fully intend to until my hands stop working because they're super arthritic.
And Yondu will always be on for the ride.
I don't feel overly precious about most things that I create. But like you said, Yondu, I feel differently about because that got this whole ball rolling, and I had no idea that it would be the thing that it is today.
And that was Jamel Johnson reporting. A small business owner is serving up treats that have tails wagging in North Texas, and she is doing it while facing some challenges her customers might not see. Sydney Persing shares her inspiring story.
There are lots of people at the Denton Farmers Market, and also lots of pets.
I'm really lucky. My clientele are on 4 legs, and they're pretty easy to please. The cookies are sold by the bag. You can mix and match whatever you want.
Katie Portillo owns Susie's Snack Shop, open since 2013. And named for Katie's late pup, Susie sells natural human-grade dog treats.
So I felt comfortable to give my dogs a treat.
And Susie's has had success. Katie opened up a brick-and-mortar shop in 2018, racked up loyal clients like Davita Washington, who's been coming for 10 years.
And now I come here regularly on a weekly basis to get my treats and my bones for my dog. She loves them. Oh, she gets so excited. Like about an inch or so.
But it's been far from a walk in the park.
It's been an interesting roller coaster. Small businesses, as I like to say, are not for the faint of heart.
There was COVID, of course, and the decline in in-person shopping as folks opt for direct shipping to their doorstep from places like Amazon and Chewy.
I was recently diagnosed with a rare blood cancer. And so, again, another pivot change in my life.
But Katie hasn't let COVID, changes in shopping trends, or even chemo keep her from doing her job.
This is my passion. Yes, I work hard, but I work hard for customers that appreciate it. I have people who come and tell me that my treats were the only thing that kept their dog going and probably kept their dog alive for a couple of more months because it was the only thing that they would eat.
It's a huge inspiration. We get you back for that.
Jax Jackson works for Katie.
Seeing her do it makes me feel like I can do it.
Katie is now moving into the direct shipping market with a new subscription box. And she's expanding Susie's into wholesale.
Change with the times, keep up with the times.
Because no matter what challenges, business or life throw at this North Texan,
if you have the passion for it, it will exude out of you and your product, and people will see that. You can mix and match whatever you want.
She loves what she does and won't stop.
There's days that, of course, I wake up and I think, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I think to myself, I will have every dog in Denton and Collin County on my doorstep saying, hey, lady, where's the chicken feed?
Thankfully for Denton dogs, Katie's here to stay. In Denton, I'm Sydney Persing.
A gathering in Pennsylvania is celebrating the nuttiest character around. He's dapper, cool, and he even has his own fan club. Emily Kress takes us inside the National Peanut Pals Convention.
From clocks, mugs, and tins, you've probably seen this face before. The iconic yellow peanut with a top hat and cane made his Planters debut in 1916. More than 100 years later, people still go nuts for Mr. Peanut.
What is there not to love about Mr. Peanut? He's dapper, he's cool.
The National Convention of the Peanut Pals is coming together at the Inn at Jim Thorpe. Scott Schnitz is the president of the collectors group that got its start in 1978.
And it started out with one person that really liked Mr. Peanut, put an ad out in the newspaper, got 8 people, and then that 8 people just grew.
The diehard collectors laid out their pieces for a memorabilia swap and sale. Members of the Peanut Pals say some of the items range from a few bucks to thousands of dollars. For many collectors, the local tie to the Planters Peanuts factory in Wilkes-Barre keeps them collecting.
Being that Peanut Pals originated in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, we've been interested in this kind of hobby for years, like the last, I'd say 5 to 10 years. We developed quite a collection.
If it can be Mr. Peanut, it will be Mr. Peanut. Collectors say they go nutty over all of the items plastered with the monocled mascot.
Tins are more of the collectible cans, so we're looking for more of the plastics, some of the Planters cans, and some advertising. We bought a few pieces yesterday. One's a nightlight, a Planters Peanut nightlight.
It's a paint book. I guess this was the second paint book, and they would give this to you when you got enough points or something.
That was Emily Kress reporting. Now, if you're a little bit salty, you missed out. Don't worry. The Peanut Pals host 3 different conventions a year. All right, here's a look at what's coming up. If life could be measured, a bus driver in Minnesota would measure hers in miles. How she went from the only woman on the job to the last one standing. Plus, a heartwarming moment on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour has fans buzzing. We'll tell you why an onstage appearance had the crowd going wild. Alrighty, let's check out what's buzzing online. Remember what life was like before everyone became glued to their devices? Well, one mom is making sure her kids have that experience. Check out what she did.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah, you see that? That's old school, a landline phone. I used to tie up the line. The old school move went viral on Instagram, and it's teaching her 6 and 8-year-olds how to actually talk on the phone, not just FaceTime. And now the family's doubling down on retro tech. Get this, CD players in bedrooms, thrifted music binders, and Game Boys, possibly next. Oh, I loved my Game Boy. That big gray one with like the fuchsia buttons. This was not Game Boy Color, the old school one. All right, so you know, what's old often becomes new again, so I wouldn't be surprised if CD players become popular again in a few years. Now, here's a reminder to change your purchase settings on your phone. A mom in Kentucky got a surprise $4,000 bill and several packages on her doorstep, thanks to her little one, 8-year-old Liam LaFavers. He was planning a neighborhood carnival and he needed some prizes, so he took it upon himself to grab his mom's phone and order 70 22,000 lollipops on Amazon. Oh my goodness. 22 of the 30 cases showed up right at her front door before she had a chance to cancel the order. Now, she managed to cut off the other 8 cases at the post office and get them sent back. She eventually got a full refund from Amazon and, of course, changed her phone settings. Now she says she can breathe a sigh of relief, and she's at the point where she can laugh about it now. Ooh, how stressful was that? Glad they gave her money back. All right, let's talk about Beyonce. The Queen Bee kicked off her Cowboy Carter tour, and her eldest daughter, Blue Ivy, you know, she's hit the stage with Mom before, but another Carter child is stealing hearts. Beyonce brought her youngest daughter, Rumi, out on stage during her song Protector. Rumi smiled and waved to the crowd, even hugging Beyonce mid-song. Now, her sister, Blue Ivy, who folks refer to as the manager, then took her backstage. Fans and family, including Grandma Tina Knowles, gushed online, calling the moment unforgettable. Yeah, those clips are so heartwarming. All right, let's take a look at this for Beyonce's fans. You know, they're known as the Beehive. Seeing the pop star live isn't the only memorable experience at her concerts. It is also about the elaborate themed outfits that the fans wear. Over in Georgia, the Beehive is swarming to a Goodwill store to grab Beyonce-inspired looks without breaking the bank. Several stores across Atlanta launched Cowboy Goodwill, which includes a Western-inspired shopping experience full of fringe, denim, rhinestones, and glam. I will be seeing the Queen Bee in just a little bit. I have to grab a few more things for my fit. Not going to be super elaborate, though. Maybe I'll share the pictures on another episode. That is a wrap on Trending. Let's take a look at what's coming up. Now, you might think there's nothing funny about menopause. And ladies, if you're going through it, I hear it's not exactly an enjoyable experience. Mama Privet tells me, but check out a musical. We will have details on this musical that hopes to change your mind. Plus, a deep dive to find answers underwater. How an unlikely detective is bringing families closure. Thank you for sticking with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you some uplifting stories across the country. Let's head to Florida now, where authorities are taking a webbed feet approach to finding missing people. Dave Wagner introduces us to Splash, the world's first search otter.
Finding the missing in murky Florida waters is a challenge.
The saying is that the investigation ends at the water's edge.
After decades of training tracking dogs at Peace River Search and Rescue.
You know, our dogs are trained to work off anything from paddle boards to kayaks to boats.
Mike Hansel is taking a novel, some might say absurd approach to finding the missing.
And I thought, why can't we train an otter to do this kind of, if they'll work with us. I mean, if the otter will work with a human.
Meet Splash, the world's first search otter.
Splash is trained to locate and identify the odor of human remains. So his job is to find the human victim underwater in the low visibility conditions that we can't see them. Humans emit somewhere over 500 volatile organic compounds, and it's unique to humans.
As part of his training, the scent of human remains is placed behind a light in this pool.
You'll see all these bubbles start coming out because I hid the scent object behind the pool rim, and he was finding it. And you'll see all these bubbles coming out, and he's sucking some of those bubbles back in, and he's tasting them. The odor attaches itself to the bubble, and then he tastes it when it comes into his mouth. And so that's how he does it. When he finds something, he comes back and he grabs my mask.
Last year, an Arizona zoo owner heard about Mike's wild idea and donated Splash.
He is an Asian small-clawed otter.
Splash has gotten big, in part because success in the pool.
Yes. Good boy.
Is rewarded with a steady supply of salmon. Diving in these waters is dangerous, especially for an otter tethered to a line.
Yes, the danger we worry about Splash here is the alligators. For both of us, it's dangerous. I have bumped into alligators.
And when he's not in the water, Splash is sometimes in Dutch the dog's water bowl, or all up in the cat's business.
And now he likes to wrestle.
At the end of each day, Splash has a place in the family bed.
He sleeps with us. He likes to curl up either down by my feet or up by my head on the pillow. They're first cousin to a wolverine, and they have all the teeth. Oh, well, I'm 66 and I'm on blood thinners. When I get bit, I bleed. Let's go, Hoffa.
While Splash is a member of the family, his day job is to provide answers to families of the missing. Mike says Splash is turning skeptics into believers.
I got a list now of search requests for people wanting to use Splash all over the United States. He's very popular with FBI and FDLE now, so he's, he's working his way up the food chain.
Wow, can't say I've seen that before. That was Dave Wagner reporting. Now let's go to another four-legged detective that's helping humans. Ohio parks have a new dog crew on duty, and this bunch has got a real nose for nature. They are trained to sniff out spotted lanternfly eggs before they hatch. Carl Batchel tagged along with the team and shows us how these super sniffers are taking on the tiny invasive insects.
Here at Cleveland Metro Park's Ohio and Erie Canal Reservation, you never know what you'll see. There's a chipping sparrow searching for a mate. Gail and her dog Rio are searching for something too.
We're hunting for spotted lanternflies.
Not the bugs, but their eggs. Gail walks Rio along the tree line where he uses his sensitive nose to smell out the egg masses of the invasive insects. Inside, up to 50 eggs ready to hatch.
When we get these leashes on or his harness, he knows he's working. He likes to get the job done.
Rio isn't alone in this search and destroy mission. There are 3 other dogs in the volunteer brigade, each one using their superpowers of smell to make a difference.
This team today is a very first for us. These dogs will detect trees that we otherwise had passed.
When the dogs sniff out an egg mass, they're rewarded. Our reward for their hard work is limiting the insect damage to Ohio's wine, fruit, maple, and craft beer industries.
These teams are not only doing work for us, finding them and helping remove egg masses, but they're ambassadors of a larger problem.
Another step towards winning the battle against spotted lanternfly, even if it is just by a nose.
Over here, good boy. That was Carl Batchel reporting. Now, they say practice makes perfect, right? And these firefighters you see here behind me are squeezing into small spaces to prepare for challenging rescues that may happen in the future. Jim Altman takes us to Connecticut to get in on the action.
Well, fortunately, calls like this don't come in that often, but when they do, it is among a firefighter's most challenging tests.
This is just putting us in the most realistic environment as possible for a rescue.
You guys ready? Ready.
The walls are closing in on these firefighters.
Rescuers on the line, go ahead and take up slack.
And that's why they've come to Old Lyme.
So you don't get a second chance in an emergency. You want to get it right, you want to practice for that, you want to have that muscle memory.
The crew from the Middletown Fire Department is keeping close quarters, ultimately to extend their reach.
Just make sure your head's forward.
This is the headquarters of JLN Safety, a unique outfit. They're confined space safety specialists.
So JLN is a full-service safety organization. We are made up of safety specialists and emergency responders, and we take care of clients across the board. So here in our training facility, we have full-scale mock-ups of different scenarios, very real scenarios that our clients actually face day to day.
Nick Mayo is a Middletown battalion chief, and for the team, this goes beyond just learning the ropes.
Slow, very slow, yeah.
This scenario involves rescuing an unresponsive worker from an industrial tank.
So sending a rescuer down on our tripod through the space to get to the tank. It was a challenging scenario, but it gave the rescuers a realistic perspective of something they may encounter in the field.
Advanced operations like this always present the unknown, but now this team knows more about the ins and outs of confined space rescue.
Everybody has tasks to do and everybody has jobs and roles to fill. It's all about the team and making an effective rescue to save a life.
People say, we trained for this scenario and then that exact scenario happened and we were ready for it, and there's nothing more gratifying than that.
In Old Lyme, Connecticut, Jim Altman for Featured.
A bus driver in Truman, Minnesota has been rolling around town for more than 50 years now. While she treasures her decades on the road, she had no idea others felt the same way. That is until Boyd Hubert showed up. Now he went along for a ride and he got a story with a surprise ending even he didn't expect.
Never a doubt who'll be first each day on bus number 5.
Good morning, good morning.
This isn't just morning in Truman for Cheryl Barrickman.
This is it.
This is life.
Sometimes the kids are a little sleepy on Monday mornings.
And the driver?
That too, maybe.
Life on Cheryl's bus comes with a smile.
Morning.
She believes the first person her kids see after leaving home should flash sunshine.
Good morning. The Broodley girls. Good morning.
My name's Sydney and her name's
Sydney
Peyton.
and Peyton aren't aware that Cheryl was alone among men when she started driving bus at 23. They're also unaware how long she stayed.
I am 80.
Wow.
So they've yet to do the math to know how long bus number 5 has had the same driver.
I've been driving, this is my 57th year, yeah.
That's a lot.
Kind of like having a grandma on board.
That's true, yeah.
Except, says Elena Clausen,
My grandma's younger.
still, the 80-year-old driver of a big bus on the prairie knows wind and snowstorms.
The road was covered.
And stories.
Little kindergartner was sitting in the front seat. I'll roll down the window and look out the side, he said, for you, and if I see the edge, I'll tell you that you're too close to the edge.
That is the laugh of a woman whose life
Okay, Brian.
is kids.
That'll work.
Just ask Heidi Boyle,
She loves kids.
a kid.
Yeah, yep,
Cheryl,
yep.
4.
She was a 4-H leader, Sunday school teacher. Everything she does is for the kids.
Including
Every day.
this.
I pray before I get on the bus that I have a safe journey with the bus and that in some way I bless these children's lives.
But if kids are Cheryl's fuel, her heart belonged to Keith.
He died on January 1st of 22, so yeah, I do miss him, yes.
For his gravestone, the farmer picked a tractor. So what do you suppose Cheryl chose to represent her life?
Even in death, yes, yes.
Which is where we had planned to end this story.
Usually, this lot's empty.
Until Cheryl returned to the bus garage.
I don't know what's going on. I pretty much just sent out a text to see what all these cars are about out here.
When word got out, a television station would be following Cheryl.
Everybody showed up. Hey, what's happening in here?
Home family
Hi, Alyssa. Hi.
arrived
She's very surprised. Tiger!
with bus family.
Hey, this is an old bus kid.
Hiya, Ben.
All right.
She was at every sporting event.
Alex Boyle's grandmother
Oh my gosh, hi, Arlo.
drove him there.
She never saw the end of games because she had to get the bus warmed up.
Everyone has a story.
I was on the bus 54 years ago.
I was on the bus 2 years ago.
When Carter Gieske started school, his dad Peter thought,
Well, she's still driving.
Isn't that just cool?
the confection and affection left the bus driver
This is surprising. It's great.
in need of wipers. Even 80-year-olds haven't seen everything.
I guess I didn't think I was that special. Everybody wave!
Those in Truman who disagree would fill buses.
I love them all.
Congratulations, Grandma Cheryl.
Thank you, Anna.
80 and alive.
Thank you.
On bus 5.
You bet. I love you so much.
Good. Good.
That is an incredible story. All right, now check out this one. People gathered at Denver International Airport not to take flight, but to watch a major aviation event. Mark Salinger takes us to a plane landing that leaves spectators in awe.
A lot of planes land at Denver International Airport.
That is a Boeing 737 MAX 8.
But there's only one. that people will literally fly here to see.
The aviation geek world is a lot bigger than I thought. My inner child from years ago when I was growing up in Arizona is definitely coming out. It's just, it's hard to even put it into words. I'm so excited to be able to get up close and personal with this aircraft.
Okay, 431 copies.
Channing Reed writes about aviation for Simple Flying online. All he cares about is the world's biggest passenger plane.
After seeing pictures and videos for there it is, yeah, it's right over there. Seeing pictures and videos of it for so many years, being able to actually see it in person is just a dream come true, really.
It's the first scheduled landing of an A380 in Denver. Channing had to be here.
I wish my dad was here right now. He would be just as excited as me, maybe a little bit more. My dad is a huge av geek, and I think he passed that down to me.
This landing,
incredible,
was worth the travel.
Everything I thought it would be and more. Just incredible. Breathtaking. I didn't even want to stop. I didn't even put in my ear my what do you call them? I'm speechless right now.
Of all the planes that land at one of the world's busiest airports,
I think aviation is so special and so magical.
There's only one that makes everyone stop and stare.
Amazing, amazing experience.
That was Mark Salinger reporting. Now, just how big is this supersized jumbo jet? The Airbus A380 is capable of holding as many as 853 people on 2 decks. Alrighty, coming up next, hoop dreams come true for a senior basketball team in San Diego. We take you to practice as they prepare to take on the world. Professional athletes, typically have short careers, but a basketball team in San Diego is playing past their 60s. Ooh. And as Jeff Zevely shows us, they are preparing to take their talents overseas.
When you think about hoops and the USA Dream Team, you might think of Jordan, Magic, and Bird. But these San Diego seniors say they've got next. Before these hoopsters in their 60s compete for a world championship,
tight defense,
they need a pep talk.
Defense.
From team captain Circe Miller.
You expect me, 67 years young, to be sitting in front of the TV and knitting. I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that.
This is officially Circe's Dream Team.
Oh, it's my dream! It's my dream come true!
In June, they'll compete in the World Maxi Basketball Championship. Where are you going?
We are going to be going to Ticino, Switzerland,
where the team plans to unleash their triple threat. Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right. 62-year-old Debbie Porter. Do you have butterflies, or how are you?
I do. We're going to see a whole bunch of other women from all over the world who are our age who are doing the same thing.
Nice move. You got that? Oh, yeah! The Senior Women's Basketball Association. Nice shot. Woo, partner! Nothing but net. Is where seniors blow off steam and bond. 5 seconds left on the clock. The score is tied. You need a bucket. Who do you pass the ball to?
Martha, 6 feet tall. Yeah. Why wouldn't I give it to her?
Martha was a high school hoop star. Oh, sky hook! Oh, wow. Who says working yourself back into shape at 63 comes with aches and pains.
Day by day, week by week, I'm getting better and stronger and loving every minute.
Are you guys ready to take on the whole world?
I don't know about that.
Dream team. 1, 2, 3. Dream team!
They just drew up that game-winning play, and it looks like this. Martha gets the ball. She turns, she shoots, and gets hammered. Oh! Foul! Looks like the World Championship could come down to a single free throw. Martha, no pressure.
Let's go!
In the Zevely zone. Dream team! Dream team! Dream team! Dream team! Jeff Seville.
A musical is bringing big laughs to a change in life that can bring hot flashes, night sweats, and mood changes. Amy Lutz speaks to the cast of Menopause, the musical 2.
We are gonna have a great... Forget the spa day. This is a cruise like no other. The show picks up where the original left off.
So it's 4 gals who originally met at a Bloomingdale's, and now they're meeting 5 years later, and they're taking a cruise together, and hijinks on the high seas.
Picture the ultimate girls' getaway, packed with memory lapses, unexpected romance, and a lot of hot flashes. Terry Adams plays one of the housewives.
It's about 90 minutes singing and dancing about the joys and triumphs of menopause to different parodied lyrics of hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s now that you'll recognize.
She says it's a musical all women can relate to.
We hear women say, you know, I just lost my husband last year and I haven't laughed like this. You know, thank you for that.
And a musical that provides comfort and hope through life's more challenging times.
You know, laughter is indeed the best medicine. So it is therapeutic for them and for us. It's a real feel-good thing, I think, for everybody involved.
That was Amy Lutz reporting. Now we have one more story ahead. Parents in Ohio got more than they asked for. They shared the unexpected surprise that made their daughter's birthday extra special. Welcome back. Remember your first car? Maybe it was something you worked for or a gift for your 16th birthday. Well, that's the case for a girl in Ohio, and her celebration not only came with a powerful engine, but a powerful act of love. Steve Iwanek has her story.
The feeling of getting your first car. Freedom, pride, joy. A few weeks ago, to celebrate her 16th birthday, Evie Lockwood's parents, Jamie and Ryan, wanted to give her that same experience.
We were in the market for a new car, and I let her go on and pick the color.
And there was just something about blue that stood out.
And after she picked the color, she named it Bluey.
At first, it brought a laugh. After all, Bluey's just a cartoon. But what started as a joke turned into reality.
I just randomly wrote the plant manager at the Wayne manufacturing facility where Broncos are made in Wayne, Michigan, a letter. And lo and behold, he answered it. And they answered it in a big way.
On March 5th, the Lockwoods arrived in Michigan, where a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco was waiting. Paid by the family, but built with extra touch just for Evie. The windshield read Bluey. The side windows feature her favorite cartoon character. And the license plate says it too.
It's not just some car on a dealership lot. Like, that's what was cool. So when she saw her name and the Bronco signature is when she was like over the moon about it.
Evie also got to tour the factory, meet the crew, and leave with an experience that she'd never forget.
We wanted to try to mimic that as best we could, even though she may never drive, but we hope maybe someday she has that ability.
You see, Evie has autism. At first, it can be a scary thing to hear.
Being nonverbal is scary in and of itself.
But her parents have embraced it.
We never hid her away. We were like, this is our life. She's just going to join in with how we already lived.
And live she does. On the sidelines of Woodmore High School, Evie is right there, pom-poms in hand, cheering on the Wildcats. Now she has something else to cheer for, a moment of being seen and celebrated on 4 wheels.
It doesn't matter if you have a disability or some other issue, you can still share a love for a certain vehicle.
Oh, I love that. That was Steve Iwanek reporting. One of my favorite birthday gifts I've ever gotten was from my parents. It was shortly after our family dog died, and I had one of those Pandora bracelets. So I opened up the box, and it was a little puppy paw. I ugly cried. And that's it for Featured. Make it a great one.